Hi everyone.
Hold on.
Sorry. It's been a while.
Okay.
Hi.
Stores are like Chelsea change. Down the lights, spread the dimes. Time to spread this, your dreams dance at all. Godly thrones that be dancing, so lots. God to ransom, don't come at all.
Hi everyone. I'm Shelby with Sisterlocks.
And I am Lexi with the traditional locks.
And we are
Two
Two
Sisters
Sisters Locked.
We are back with another video. Before we get started, just remember, go ahead and subscribe, like, leave a comment. We love to interact with you all.
And also make sure to head over to our Instagram, also at Two Sisters Locked. Give us a follow, check out our reels, our photos, give us a like and leave some comments there too. Also to our Pinterest, also Two Sisters Locked. We keep it simple, all the same everywhere.
Yeah.
Go ahead over there and also give us a follow and check out our posts from time to time.
Yeah, for sure. Let's get on with it. Let's start the video. So this video is going to be our lock regrets. Insert
Dun dun
evil
dun.
music. Because I think a lot of people, I'm in love with my locks. I'm in love with this journey. I think everybody should get locks. Like, y'all know that we are big
Lock proponents.
lock advocates. But I mean, there's no journey is perfect. Nothing is perfect.
Oh,
and so
and mine surely ain't. See, what was it called again? Lock Horror Story. Our old video.
Yes. So we wanted to be very honest about some things that we did, or like maybe some things about our locks that are just not really our favorite. What's your first one?
My first lock regret is not being more careful about choosing my loctician. When you are starting Sister Locks, I have, how many? 525 locks on my head.
Yeah.
If someone's gonna do that many locks in your head, you better make sure they know what they're doing. Because it's not like traditional. Traditional locks where you still have to be careful, but the time and money and effort it takes to fix them if they're wrong is a bit different when you have 150 locks versus 500 something locks. Like that's a big difference.
Traditional locks, like for me, like as soon as I washed it the first time, it immediately unraveled. But like for Sister Locks,
yeah, it's
it's
supposed
not
to be
fully
in there.
locked, but I mean,
yeah,
you're gonna have to take it out manually.
Once it's done, it's like there, it's in your head. Ooh. And so my first loctician, I'm not gonna go all into it. You can watch my lock horror story video. I'll have it slide across the bottom. I'll also link it below.
Yeah.
But my first loctician, it was Lexi's loctician. She did a great job on Lexi's locks. Give us a little shake, a little turn for the people. She did a great job on Lexi's locks. And we were like, let's keep it in the family. You know what I'm saying? We knew we were starting this channel together. We're like, if we have the same
trying to go into business with her,
you know, it'll be nice. We can do videos with her, etc. And yeah, and she was in a pretty famous lock
franchise.
Yeah, franchise. They have like multiple locations in Atlanta. It's a pretty big thing. Black woman owned.
We got a little too much information now.
Black woman owned, etc. So
and she also had natural hair experience for 25 plus years.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
like,
She's like been doing locks for a while, so she like knew what she was doing when it came to traditional locks. Yeah. She had just got her Sister Locks license, was not as good with those, and so when I first got mine done, they were done wrong. Most of the hair, more than see how this is a lock all the way through. When she started, about probably from here to the end, was all just puffy. And I shall insert pictures. We shall insert pictures. And I didn't know that's not what was supposed to happen. And so I went for a while with my locks not looking right, didn't even know. I eventually went to a new person after some stuff went down with her that I didn't like, and found out, literally, just kidding, found out my locks were all wrong and had to get them all done. So I ended up having to pay, I paid $1,000 to get them started, had to pay almost $1,000 to get them fixed. And so, and luckily the $1,000 that I started with to get them started was actually kind of cheap for my length of hair. So it works out that once I paid the other $1,000 to get them fixed, that was about the prices that I was looking at from other places, like maybe $1,800 or so for my length of hair. And so it worked out that it wasn't like way more than if I just started at someone else. But it, you know, just wasn't an ideal situation having to go get them fixed and all that. And so be really careful about who you get to start your locks, especially it's going to be a big investment, and I'm sure you know what you want. Now, let me say this though, just because you know what you want, some people will go in and be like, I want my locks to look exactly like this. You can't do that. You can't do that, okay? Your locks are going to do what they want to do. but make sure it at least looks like how they're supposed to look, right? How Sisterlocks are trademarked to look. So be very careful about who you're choosing. You're going to spend a lot of time with them, 3 hours every 5 to 6 weeks at least. My loctician now, she takes closer to like 6 hours. Yeah, she's older. She's been doing it for a while. She's slowed down.
You didn't tell me that. 6 hours?
But yeah, she does a great job though, you know. And she's close. Anywhere else I'd have to travel like 45 minutes to an hour, and I don't have a car, so I'd have to like Uber and pay extra. Anyway, it just makes sense to, even though it takes longer, to go to her. But my point is, you'll be spending a lot of time with these people over the years. So choose someone from the beginning who you can just stick with if possible, who can do a great job. So that's probably my biggest lock regret, was kind of just going with the person who Lexi went with, because she did a great job on Lexi's hair, but not thinking more about how different Sisterlocks are and how, like, making sure to be able to see her work with Sisterlocks, etc. What's your first one, Alexis?
My first lock regret, oh my goodness, would be, okay, I should not have put shells in my hair.
I've never heard this one.
As early as I did. And even now, I think, so I'm gonna explain why. So, and it depends what kind of shells you put. So I used the like bare shell, where like you actually have to like put the shell through the lock and then you wrap it to like
a bead.
Yeah, like a bead, right? Now that I've gone through some things with my locks, I am more comfortable with using I've gotten some shells that have the little like silver circle around it, so that I could actually put it around the circle of my lock, or like stick it through the lock. Because what ended up happening was, especially as my locks were forming at the beginning, I would put the shell at the end, and you have to kind of stretch it out and like twist it around and leave it like that. And that ended up leaving, I realized that was what caused the like long skinny pointy ends at the end of my locks.
I remember talking about that. I think you've had other videos.
Yeah, I've had videos talking about it, and I ended up cutting off those ends, and I'll insert a picture of it here. And yeah, so now like my locks are more symmetrical, but I think I might have one.
Did you cut them at all?
Still left.
They look really nice at the end.
Yeah, I've cut them because not cut like a lot off, but like when I had those long skinny ends, this is kind of an example. I don't know if you guys can see. It's not even really a good example. Like if you hold up this end part to this, that's not even a good example. Whatever. I realized that stretching of the ending part as it was still forming, it formed like as my locks started forming, like that end part was like much skinnier and thinner than the rest of my shaft. And I hated seeing them like that because they would like stick out and like they just would not follow the direction. They didn't hang down like with the rest of my lock, like how this is nice and blunt. Yeah, they wouldn't do that. They would just like do their own thing, and I hated that. And I ended up like trimming some of those pieces, which, you know, hair is hair. Hair will grow back. I didn't have a problem with cutting it, but that was just a little bit frustrating. So I wouldn't have done all that, especially at the beginning.
Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe leave back a little to the side and get you more. Yeah. Okay.
I've lost the lighting, guys.
I think we were switched before, so it's okay. Yeah, let's stop. So my second biggest lock regret is not being more careful with lint. And honestly, I'm still in this regret because I still don't do what I'm supposed to do, to be quite honest. Especially having now moved to Cambridge, Massachusetts, and in case it isn't obvious, it's right now winter. I am sorry, but as much as I love my hair, I am more concerned about being warm and not freezing when I walk outside. It can be very cold sometimes. It's a very, very windy city. Apparently the windiest city in the US, someone told me, but I don't know if that makes sense. That's what I'm saying, because Chicago's the windy city, but someone said, yeah, windier than Chicago. I was like, ooh, okay. Anyway, it is very, very windy though. And so it can be very cold and a biting cold, oh my goodness. So a lot of times I just want my hat, a turtleneck, usually it's like a wool turtleneck and stuff like that. When I do that, I just recently bought a scarf too. When I do that, there's all this stuff that can cause lint in my hair. Yeah. And so that is a big regret of mine, because sometimes I'll find pieces, like now being with Lexi and mom and dad, like people who like feel comfortable just touching my hair, they'll pick out the pieces sometimes. I don't think I have a ton, like it's not really bad considering how much I wear stuff that could cause lint in my hair, but there definitely is stuff in there from time to time. And so that's a regret of mine, but I've also been going back and forth about it, because it's like, there's some ways you can avoid it. Sometimes I wear my hair up in a bun when I'm wearing certain things, etc. But I don't wear my hair up in a bun every day, and I don't want to stretch my edges every day to be wearing it up. But I also like there's only so much you can not wear that wool stuff if you want to stay warm. So like I recently got a silk lined beanie, so that helps, right? Not wearing like
a what?
Silk lined beanie. Just not having the wool directly on your head, and the hat, that's good. But the scarf, I'm not gonna get a silk lined scarf. I'm sorry, y'all. Like I want the warmth against my face. So it's stuff like that. So it's like a regret, but also I don't really know how to like avoid it living in such a cold city. So I've just been trying to like moisturize my hair more. Make sure to definitely wear my bonnet like if I'm ever lying down when I get home, because sometimes I used to get lazy, but like there's already enough lint that can get there. Let me like be very careful wearing my bonnet, stuff like that. Keep my hair up when possible, but it's a regret, but it's also like a necessary evil a little bit. So here we are.
My next lock regret, I want to be very careful when I say this because it's not really a regret, it's just kind of like I'm on the fence, like okay, I could I don't know if this is, I don't know. Anyways, my diamond parts, I'm gonna be honest, my diamond parts. I love my diamond parts because I think they look cool, but they're just not conducive for certain styles. And I will show some examples of differences. For example, if I want to do cornrows going back, I don't have like an actual like straight lines going back in my head. So anytime I try to do like any like, you know, cornrows, like I like to kind of like, I've tried doing like the cornrows kind of like to here and the rest hanging down, like it looks cute, but there's so much zigzagging because of the way that the diamond parts are like layered in with each other, that sometimes people can't really tell that there is a pattern of some sorts. And I think some of it just look like confusion, you know. So that's probably the only thing about these diamond parts. I like the diamond parts a lot. I think I do like how it has my locks hanging better than like how people with like box parts, you know, or like square parts or whatever hang. But yeah, just for some styles, and I'll show the difference between like I'll show the difference between like cornrows and certain styles with a box part versus a diamond part. But yeah, it just certain styles it just doesn't really work well with. Now it does work well like if you're doing it going diagonally, because then you can see like because that's kind of like the way that the lines go, they're kind of like diagonal. But I mean, most of us are not doing no diagonal cornrow, like we want it straight back, you know, and it just doesn't always look the best, or at least I haven't quite found the best locks to put together to form that. So yeah, that's my only thing about the parting of it.
The last lock regret I'll say I have
I
is
have lighting.
Ooper. Ooh, you're shaking it, girl.
Your mom.
The last lock regret I'll say
we have the same mom, so I can say that. She's actually there. I hope she can hear me.
Your mom. The last lock regret that I'll say that I have is not doing more deep cleanses. So with like a apple cider vinegar rinse or something. Anyone who has Sisterlocks knows you have to braid and band when you wash for like at least the first year. Mine has locked pretty quickly considering all the drama I went through. So I'm now pretty much at the end of having to braid and band. Now I only
it's Shelby, that's the
I know. So I'll do a lot bigger. Actually, maybe I'll do a video, a wash video. But I'll do it in bigger sections now, not only braid like from here to the end, so I can really get in the middle. But when your locks are newer, you have to do very small sections. You have to braid tight all the way down from the root, and so it can be difficult to get in there to really wash the hair at the root when you're washing your hair. And so because of that, now when I went to my new lock and she was like, girl, like there's a lot of buildup at the root, and I'm like not scared, but she's like, I don't really want to like lock it in because it's going to be locking in that dirt, or she said some of it was actually soap that hadn't been washed out, stuff like that at the root. And so she was like, I need you to do apple cider vinegar rinse. So I did it once. She was like, much better. I need you to do it again. I did it again. And she's like, this is looking really, really good. But she's like, one more time with a good soap will be good. Because I had just been like pouring it on my head until it's like missing spots. So while I'm here, I actually planning to do a soak where I just sit in it for a while. But so that's probably my other biggest regret. Honestly, I don't know if it's a regret because I don't know if I could have done it that early. I don't know if it's a good idea to have done it to like young Sisterlocks anyway. So I don't know if it's anything that I could have changed, but I do wish that I hadn't let stuff build up at the root. Because now, as I said, doing the rinse, it got it out, like it's almost all gone. So it's not like it's like locked in there forever, but it just would have been easier for her like trying to lock in stuff to have done a rinse earlier.
Yeah, I wish I had done that a little earlier. So I just got my first ACV rinse. I just had my first ACV rinse done about a month ago, and yeah, after she washed it out and I looked in the mirror, she was like, oh wow, your color is like much more vibrant. Like my hair just looked darker. It didn't look as dusty. as one loctician described it, off brown.
Her hair was dirty.
Your mom.
Off brown is dirty.
Anyways, so yeah, yeah, it does like really, even though there wasn't a ton of like lint and stuff built up in it, it does like lift some stuff that, you know, are in your locks that you don't realize is there. So she actually suggests that you do it. I know there's some like debate on how often you should do it. Some people say that it like weakens your hair and stuff. I haven't like gotten into all that to like really or like research it to really know. She suggests doing it every time you wash. I probably wouldn't do it every time.
That seems pretty good.
But I don't know. And also, well, here, I guess some people do like the whole ACV rinse where they put the ACV and they do like baking soda.
I was about to say, and they like dilute it major.
Yeah.
Like I was pouring it straight on my head.
Oh, girl.
Yeah.
And
it burned because well, no, it burned because so when my hair starts to get thin, I get very
that's
itchy
her biggest
head.
lock regret right
so
there.
I started itching my head, and so I had like I think like micro cuts or something, and I poured out like it burned so bad because I had like micro cuts in my scalp. So yeah, when I do the actual rinse, I plan to dilute it, but because I was just pouring it and letting it literally fall out, I was like whatever. But if I sit in it, I would not do pure.
Yeah, when she did it for mine, she did like 2 or 3 parts water to 1 part ACV. So anyways, those are some of our lock regrets. What are yours?
Yeah, let us know down below so we avoid, because as you see, like I'm only a year and a half into the game, she's 2.5 years into the game. We're still new, so there's a lot of things that we can do soon that we'll later regret, you know, like we're not out the woods even close. So let us know some of your biggest lock regrets, or if we said anything that you're like, I would regret doing that. So let us know down below your thoughts on that.
Yeah. Well, thanks for tuning into our video. Once again, do not forget to leave us a comment, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and check us out at our other social media platforms. We are on TikTok, we are on Instagram, and we are on Pinterest. All of the same tag, the number 2, Sisterlocks. Oh, look, you have a like. No, I have a like.
I know, so I'm trying to get it back and steal it from you.
So, yeah, go ahead and do that. And check us out, keep up to date with us, and yeah, check out our next videos. Bye, everybody.
Deuces.